Hey, it's Andy, and we are live again, second week in a row. Can you believe that? I know. You would think I said everything that I had to say last week, but I guess not. So we're just gonna wait a few minutes. Maybe somebody shows up this time, maybe not. But either way, I got your questions from Instagram that I am just gonna answer. Talk my pretty little head off, okay? So, anyways, let me get this set up. It's been a crazy day today. Click, 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 everything just clicking. See, the thing is that some of this stuff that I got on here is like takes up one portion of the screen and then the other portion of the screen is the other thing. Like there's a delay in what I see in my broadcaster versus what YouTube Studio actually shows. So like looking at one and that's the one that's live and I'm like, hey, and then like it's 2 seconds later I'm like, oh, that's really what I look like. It's kind of like hearing your voice on like a recording and you're just like, yeah, that's really what I sound like. But anyways, um, yeah, let me just get a drink of water here. Well, yeah, today is going to be a good one. I've got some great questions here. I know some of you guys who submitted questions are super excited to hear my answer. I will say that this time I got a lot more spam than I have ever gotten before. That's crazy. Like, and I think it's the same person, and I'm pretty sure it's the same person who threatened me. If you missed that, well, that was an adventure in and of itself. But yeah, so that, yeah, as a content creator, when you just start out, you get a lot of spam messages, you get a lot of spam like replies to your posts and oh, check out my DMs, check out your DMs, or send us a DM, or we should do a collab or something like that. And they're typically pretty harmless, but for the most part, um, like I just ignore them. But then there are some special people who just, there's like a line and then they like cross it. They are so far beyond the line that the line is a dot. 20 points if you know what I'm quoting. All right, so it is 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I am Andy Hoffer, and I am now going to do my live. Hey, welcome if you're just watching this on YouTube after it. Thank you for listening to my rambling. If you're just joining us, which nobody is, I'm just going to keep talking to myself. All right, so during these Q&As, I really like to just give a piece of myself that you don't normally get to see. On my Instagram page, I usually have things that I think about, things that I need to tell myself, things that, really inspire me, things that I just want to share with everybody, because to me, the words that I say there are really important and things that I try to live by. And my personality doesn't really get the opportunity to shine through. For the most part, I try to talk to you guys on my stories, and you get little bits and pieces of me, but this is more designed for you guys to really get to know me, for you guys to really get to see where I'm coming from, get to know more about me, my practice, about my thoughts on yoga philosophy, just life in general, my family, my friends, and I really do not censor any of this. What I will say is that if you do give me an abusive comment, I will report your ass, okay? You're not gonna get away with that. But at the same time, I like to have fun. I mean, I don't mind stupid questions. I don't mind giving stupid answers because that's just how it is. Oh, hold on. Let's see. Nope. Okay, so that was not a question. That was just my timer telling me that I'm gotta start this. All right. So how about we get into some questions? And the first question that I got is, what is your yoga practice like? Okay, that's a good one. So, my yoga practice reflects where I am in life. I know that's like a stupid bullshit like answer, but it's really true. Most of the time when I am doing okay, when I'm feeling fit, strong, when I'm, fully rested, eating well, I practice 6 days a week Ashtanga yoga, and um, I don't really deviate from that much. Now, having a long history of um, like depression and anxiety, and having a lot of issues, with my alcoholism, I'm not necessarily doing 100% all of the time. And so I allow myself to really reflect that into my practice. So, what does that mean? So, there are days where I'm really feeling really, 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 really tired and don't want to get on the mat. So, I just do 3 sun salutations A, 3 sun salutations B, and my closing, and that's it. Sometimes it's me getting on the mat and doing some yin or restorative practice, but getting up there and moving my body anyways. It is very, very, very rare that I do not get on the mat. Very rare. And that's because, this is a discipline for me. Getting on the mat to me is life. If I'm one of those people that, like, if I don't, hit the mat every day, like one day will turn into 3 weeks. Like 3 weeks later, I'm just like, ugh, maybe I should get back on the mat. And so I tend to avoid doing that at all costs. I think sometimes I won't get on the mat, like if I have to travel, or if, I think even if I'm sick, I still practice. But yeah, no. So my Ashtanga practice is like about 75 minutes if I'm just doing primary series. And if I'm doing primary and intermediate series, it's about 100 minutes. So about an hour, 40 minutes, hour 30 minutes to an hour 40 minutes, depending on how sprite I'm feeling. So yeah, I really, really hit the mat pretty hard, and that's what it's like on a day-to-day basis. And my students, I tend to tell them for their own purposes, like, what are you trying to get out of yoga? What is it that you want yoga to be for you? If you're looking for it to be a way to get strength, yeah, you can get strong, but you're probably going to get stronger lifting weights. If you want to be flexible, like, yes, you're going to get flexible, but if flexibility is your goal, then do flexibility drills. Like, if you are looking for a way of life, if you are looking to be immersed in something that is a lot bigger than just strength and flexibility, then yeah, yoga is perfect because it combines those two things, and requires you to show up. My first ever teacher said to me that, if you just show up like once a week, once in a blue moon, once when you feel like it, when you like, you're always starting at the beginning again. And that can be frustrating. And so you can never really develop a relationship with the practice, with yoga, with your body, if you're always restarting from square one. So I tell my students, at least 3 times a week, try to practice. At least show up for yourself 3 times a week, whether it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, whether it's Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, whatever it is that you can do, just dedicate 3 times a week to getting on your mat. And I know that for some people, practicing 6, 7 days a week like I do is not possible because, life is life. You got kids, you got to work, you got a husband, you got to cook, you got to clean, you got to do laundry. You are working 2 jobs, and, like there are just so many things that get in the way of practicing 6, 7 days a week for 100 minutes. But at the same time, take 5, 10 minutes, get on the mat, do some sun salutations, move your body, just take some time to breathe, which I think is the most fundamental thing of yoga, and, take it from there. Okay, so yes, that's what my practice looks like. And what I want for my students is to just cultivate a sense of, this is what I do, not, I'm gonna do the, like it's just something that's in the background, but it's something that you do. Okay, so I hope that answers your question. All right, let's see. What's my next question here? What's it like being a rocket scientist? I don't really talk about this much. Like, I don't know why. I just don't like sharing the rocket scientist portion side of me, because quite frankly, I've been an engineer for 10 years now, but at the same time, it's just not something that I find to be all that interesting to share. Like, there are parts of me that, like, I love to talk about. Like, obviously, I love talking about myself. I love talking about yoga. I love talking about my family, my friends, and things that, and spirituality and sobriety and things that really are like, yeah, I can do the engineering, but it's just not something that it like lights a fire inside of me. And, I'm good at it. I just, it is what it is. But I feel like, my job, I get to do some important work. And I feel like at my job, I get to work with people who are infinitely a lot smarter than me and more passionate about it than me. So I do my best to help support them in any way that I can, so that, make their jobs and their lives a little bit easier and try to help solve these problems on like a scientific scale. But just, it would be disingenuous to say that, my life as an engineer is, as fulfilling as my life as a yogi or as a mom or as a, as a wife, as a friend, as, all these other parts of me. So I, yeah, so I don't really share a lot about it because of that. But yeah, so I went to school for electrical engineering. I went to Northeastern, go Huskies. And yeah, I did that, and then I got my master's in program management. And I don't think I've ever told anybody this story, but like, in college, I had a friend named Joe, not same Joe as my husband, different Joe. And I went to college with this guy, and there was a job fair that he was going to go to. I mean, all of us were going to go, and he was like, yeah, I'm going to go see Draper, I'm going to go see this, I'm going to go see that, and all these companies. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll just go with you, whatever, I'll bring my resume, no problem. And so we go, and Draper was actually not a part. Oh, hi, Coach B. I'll get to your question in a second. And this person, like the company that I work for, they didn't show up. So I was like, okay, whatever. And we wind up, going back to like the clubhouse or whatever, and he's like applying online. So I was like, all right, I guess I'll apply online too. So I applied to They didn't show up. I didn't know what this company was about. I didn't know who these people were. I didn't know what they were doing. I didn't know anything about them. I was just like, all right, I'll just apply. Turns out we both get a call back from this company. And I was like, oh, cool. But they tell us we have to do this like 45-minute technical presentation. And he was like, nope. And I was like, all right, I guess I'll do it. Why not? So I wind up getting this job from this company that I had no idea existed prior to my friend who was gonna go to uh, to uh, the job fair or whatever, and then I was like, I get this job. Like, to me that just sounds that to me that was like providence. Like, so I'm at a great job. I work with great people. I really enjoy the work that I do. Like, I specialize in radiation effects for electronic components and hardware, so that's the rocket science part of it. And then, now he doesn't work there and I do. So it's pretty interesting how that all worked out. Okay, so I got a question here from somebody who joined our live, Coach B, and it says, what is my favorite movie? So my favorite movie is actually The Three Amigos. The one with Chevy Chase, Martin Short, and Steve Martin, where the three of them are like these Mexican, like these movie actors who, they are inspired in like this Mexican theme movies, like the silent movies, and these people go see their film and think that they're actual heroes, like they don't understand the concept of a movie, and so that, like, oh my god, it was so long, and I can recite the movie word for word, okay, word for word. Um, and I just, it's nostalgia. It's like the really crappiest movie of all time, but it's the best movie of all time. So besides that, oh, there's so many great movies out there that I could just watch every time that they're on. Like the Lord of the Rings movies. I could probably recite those movies too, like with how much I've watched them. Um, and then let me think. Yeah, that's amazing that like those are the two that I come up with: Three Amigos and Lord of the Rings. But yeah, so those are my favorite movies. So thank you for your question, Coach B. And let's see. Okay, let's keep moving on with my list from Instagram. What kind of yoga do you do? So, like I said, I do Ashtanga yoga. That's what I do 6 days a week. There are days where I do yin restorative, and I might pop into a vinyasa class. I might pop into a Bikram class if that's all there is. Like, I gotta get my yoga no matter what. So I pretty much exclusively do the Ashtanga thing, but I'm into, tourism for like athletic tourism where like if I'm traveling somewhere, I'm going to hit up local yoga studios, support the local economy, support local yoga teachers. I'm big on that too. So if I can't find an Ashtanga place, then I am definitely going to hit up, whatever type of yoga it is that's there. I think one of my favorite studios that I've been to outside of Massachusetts was actually in Hawaii. There was a Bikram place in the North Shore, and this woman was just so sweet and welcoming, and she was like so like energetic and funny. Like, I think I left there wanting to be her best friend. I couldn't even tell you the name of the place. I couldn't even tell you her name anymore. Like, that was a few years ago, but I really just enjoyed my experience there. So, if I'm ever going to like another city, I tend to ask people, they give recommendations, or I try to look up studios and see what people review, what their reviews are, and just really try to do my research before I go anywhere. Like, I have definitely spent a lot of my, like, I've gone to Guatemala to practice. I have practiced in London. I've practiced in in New York, I've practiced in Florida, I've practiced in, like, I just love to go other places, Utah, everywhere that I have been to, like when I travel, I like specifically find a place to go practice with other people and other teachers and see what it's like to be somewhere else and do that. So, all right, let's see. What's the next one? Do you like to do yoga music? I'm assuming that means do I like to do yoga with music or if I like to make yoga music. Well, I don't make music because I am not necessarily musically inclined, so no, I don't make yoga music, but doing yoga to music, that's a trick question. So again, it all depends. It's like on a day-to-day basis, I probably don't because I listen to my breath for my practice, but if I need it, then I am definitely using it. Like I'm not going to deprive myself of it because of some sense that I need to get it right now and I have to do this. Like if I need the help, I get the help and I just do it. Some yoga music that I like. I love listening to like Tibetan singing bowls. I love to listen to just calming, soothing music. Like even if you go on YouTube and like just look for Reiki music, you know, that stuff can be like so chill and it's just like relaxing. And oh, I love to throw that stuff on, like especially when I'm doing Shavasana. That's good stuff, man, because you just relax and you're just like whisked off into a forest or something. But yeah, so that's what I do with music. All right, let's see. How long have you done yoga for? Okay, well, I have done yoga for since 2007. Now, I don't think I told the story about how I got into yoga the last time. I don't remember. So if I like am repeating myself, just either fucking deal with it or move on. All right. Anyways, so back in 2007, I discovered a DVD workout system that is based on muscle confusion, where one day you're doing back, bicep, and tricep, the next day you're doing yoga, the next day you're doing back and legs, and then the next day you're doing Kempo. And if you know what I'm talking about, then you know what I'm talking about. But you know, I did not like it. Every Thursday you had to do the freaking yoga video and I freaking hated it. Hated it. And I couldn't get beyond myself because it just wasn't, it was hard. Like yoga was hard. And, you know, I always had that like, hold on, let me get something to drink. I always had that like, um, the idea that, oh, yoga poses, they look simple, so they must be simple. That was not the case. I could not. The first time I did the DVD with my friend Jenny, oh my god, I remember. I was in down dog and we were on carpet, and I swear to God, I thought my hands were like on fire. My shoulders were gonna like snap, and I was like, I can't do this. This is really, 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 really hard. And so I hated it. But it was a part of the system, and I was a fan of working out. I was a fan of, you know, exercise. So I said, okay, I'm going to stick with it. So I used to do it through that. And then lo and behold, you know, my daughter one day when she was, I don't know, she must have been like 12 or 13 or something like that. She says, oh, I want to try yoga, you know, and I find her like a teen program that was like down the street that was going to start in a few weeks, and she's super excited. And like the day before the program was supposed to start, we get an email saying that they cancel it because there wasn't enough participation. So instead of letting my daughter down and being like, oh, too bad, there's nothing we can do, I call the place down the street, and the place down the street was like, yeah, totally, come on in, but you have to come with her. Zang. Now, we decide we're gonna go to the yoga for beginners class because I'm like, we've got this. Don't worry about it. So we go together. Again, that was hard. But there was something different about it this time that because I was doing P90X and I could do that sequence that I thought I had it all down and I could hang with even the beginners of like a yoga studio. But this teacher, the way that he taught was just very in tune with the way that the mechanics of the body work. And to me, like, that's really what inspires a lot of my teaching and, trying to focus on proper alignment, proper being in quotation marks. Um, uh, but just having that completely different perspective rather than just boom, here's a pose, do it as best you can without any sort of guidance. To having him really focus on, okay, engage this muscle, think about it this way, do this, press here, lift that, do all these things. It was hard, but like in a different way. So my daughter and I, we kept going, and one class a week led to me going to another, led to me going to 3, led to me going to 4. And so, next thing I know, I'm doing yoga pretty much 3 to 5 times a week, and my daughter gets older, doesn't want to hang out with her uncool mom anymore. So, teens do what teens do, and they stop hanging out with our moms. And yeah, so then I just kept going, and I kept going, and then after a few years, I was like, all right, it's time for me to up my game and do a yoga teacher training. But that year, like, nothing fit because I already had work trips, I already had vacations, so like a lot of things had already basically like set themselves up to like stop me from being able to participate in the one that I wanted to do. So that didn't happen. But what did happen was the way that I sort of thought about doing the yoga teaching was like, the teachers that I really like were either doing Ashtanga, Iyengar, or Forest yoga. So I was like, all right, so pretty much if I want what they've got, I gotta do what they do. And the Ashtanga to me like really called to me, and then I started doing the Ashtanga, and that's when I started doing my yoga teacher training. So I did my yoga teacher training, and it was fantastic. Like, I learned so much and really just dove headfirst into it. I absolutely love learning about this stuff and having a place to talk about it with people who are just as enthusiastic and passionate about it. So yeah, that happened. And then I did my Ashtanga yoga teacher training, which I'm hoping I get to do another one this year. But with everything that's going on, we still have yet to see. This year, I'm actually planning on going to Vienna to do my teacher training. Woohoo! I did my 200-hour here in Massachusetts. And then I did a 40-hour Ashtanga in London. And then I'm going to do my other 40-hour Ashtanga in Vienna, which like, see, I like love traveling for this stuff. Like, to me, it's like the best reason to travel, right? And that and food. And so yeah, that's really what my journey has been like over these past, so 2007, oh man, it's like 13 years. Yeah, wow, that's a long time, right? So that's it, guys. I'm gonna like head out now. The last one was just a hey Andy asana, like, of course, more spam. But yeah, no, I am so excited to be doing these videos, and I'm gonna be doing this once a week, every Wednesday. So if you guys have questions, shoot them over to me. It will be answered, and you guys get to watch my videos. You get to listen to me ramble and be crazy and silly. But if you do like this content, please like, subscribe, share it with your friends, and we're trying to keep the content free. So I'm going to link my Patreon below. So if you do feel like making a donation to help keep this content alive, feel free to do that. But no pressure. I do it because I love it. All right, guys. Love you all.